Do you ever struggle with fear of self-promotion? So maybe it's reaching out to new customers, calling on old customers, promoting yourself on video, on social media. However you have to promote yourself in your business, do you struggle with fear? If so, this is the video for you. And the truth is that you don't have to feel that fear anymore. You can resolve it rather quickly and come into a much more empowered state of mind, which ultimately is gonna save you and make you a ton of money. And if you're like me, even more importantly, is gonna drastically increase your impact. Stay tuned. So I'm gonna give you 5 ways that you can actually transform that fear. First is a technique called the worst case fantasy. Now this is a little bit counterintuitive because, as you and I both know, our thoughts influence how we feel. But most of the time when we experience a reoccurring fear that we know is not rational, that's largely because we're repressing it or fighting it. So in this exercise, what I want you to do is I want you to visualize what is the absolute worst case scenario for you. So if it's a rejection over a sale, just imagine it going terribly and imagine it over and over and over again. And what you'll notice is that even if initially it causes some stress or fear in the body, the more that you do it, the more that you kind of realize it's not that big of a deal. By taking your worst fear and making it conscious, you're actually facing the fear. And once you've done that, then when you go out into the real world, the fear won't be nearly as bad. Second technique is slow down your internal dialogue. Almost every single person that I have worked with who experiences fear, stress, or anxiety has a rapid negative internal dialogue. Now notice I said slow down your internal dialogue. I didn't say change it. So what I want you to do in this exercise, and do this with me now, put yourself back into a time where you experienced fear in your business. And as you do that, I want you to notice what you were saying to yourself in that time. So go back there now, see what you saw at the time, be back as if you're there. And I want you to notice, what thoughts are you thinking? And I'm willing to wager that you were thinking incredibly fast-paced to yourself. The thoughts were just mile a minute, most likely. Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to start those thoughts over, but with each word that you think, I want you to say it slower and slower and slower and slower and slower. And what this will do is it will teach your mind to slow down that negative internal dialogue. And you'd be surprised how quickly, after maybe 3, 4, or 5 repetitions of doing this, your unconscious mind can generalize that pattern rather quickly. So go ahead and try that now. Pause the video. Put yourself back there. Think what you were thinking to yourself. Only with each word, say it a little bit slower, and a little bit slower than that, and a little bit slower, until the emotional response changes. If you want personal assistance with this, again, make sure you click on the link for the negative self-talk challenge, okay? The third technique is to change your internal visualization. Now, there's lots of videos on this channel about self-talk, about visualization. You should check out the swish pattern. But if in your mind you imagine things going well, you will start to build up the neural pathways associated with that. Now, most people hear about visualization when they listen to athletes, but what they don't realize is that you can visualize in such a way that allows you to feel the emotions you want to feel. And if you want to learn more about that, I recommend you go in this channel to the videos on the swish pattern. Watch that series, because you'll learn how to visualize yourself in a way where you see yourself at the absolute best and you can cultivate those feelings in your body. It's a very, very powerful exercise. Tip number 4, align your values with the activity itself. A value is an emotional state in the body. And we as human beings are driven to either meet our positive values, things like happiness, connection, love, peace, success, achievement, and we each have our own favorite flavor of emotions in the body, right? For some people, they're more success driven, others, they're more love driven. Whatever you desire most is what are going to be your towards values, the emotions that you get to feel when you get the things that you want. Okay, those are your values. Your away from values are the emotions that you don't want to feel. And most of the time, almost every time I've worked with someone who has fear of promoting themselves, they're in an avoidance strategy rather than a toward strategy. They're avoiding feeling embarrassment, failure, humiliation, rejection. Whereas the people who are really great producers, really great salespeople, really great leaders, influencers, business people have trained themselves, or they just were fortunate, right? But there's very few people who naturally learn to be this way. But they have this towards orientation. They're more moving towards success than they are avoiding failure. The problem with avoiding negative emotions is that your nervous system loves clarity and seeks clarity. So if your default operating system is to avoid negativity, you're still more clear about negativity than you are about positivity. So it's not that there's anything wrong with avoiding negativity, but the actual way you avoid it is by focusing on positivity. You know this. It's, where focus goes, energy flows. But it's your ability to get that communicated into your nervous system that makes the difference. So you're gonna have to align your values with the goal that you want to achieve. Tip number 5 is change your beliefs. Change your beliefs. We have beliefs about ourselves. We have beliefs about our product, our business, our customer. Ask yourself this question: what must be true in order for that fear to be the right thing for me to feel right now? And if you ask yourself that question, you'll begin to notice what beliefs you're holding in that situation. Now, let's say you want to see this in action. Well, I'm going to be releasing a coaching session that I've broken up into 5 pieces where I work with Anshul, who I'll include at the end of this video, his before and after testimonial, where in 1 hour we changed his beliefs, we aligned his values, did the positive visualization, taught him to talk to himself better, and healed his inner child in 1 hour. And that's the benefit, obviously, of reaching out to a coach one-on-one, is that we take these techniques, which all work in and of themselves, but we know how to put them together to get you the fastest result and the most powerful way possible. And so for some of you, the right thing to do would be to click that link and set an appointment. If you're ready to get over your fear today and start making some real money in your business. For others of you, you're gonna wanna watch that. A lot of coaches watch this channel to see how I use the various modalities to create that transformation. So stay tuned, that is coming up shortly.